Even if we concluded that plaintiffs had failed to meet their evidentiary burden, which was erroneous, a reversal is nevertheless required because of the trial court's repeated admission of testimony in violation of the dead man's statute. CPLR 4519 disqualifies parties interested in litigation from testifying about personal transactions or communications with deceased or mentally ill persons. The underlying purpose of the rule is to protect the estate of the deceased from claims of the living who, through their own perjury, could make factual assertions which the decedent could not refute in court. The statute prevents any person interested in the event from testifying to a personal transaction with the deceased unless the representative of the deceased has waived the protection of the statute by testifying himself or introducing the testimony of the decedent into evidence at trial. Plaintiffs identify numerous instances where the trial court, over their objection, permitted ACE to testify regarding transactions or communications with the deceased. We focus on only two of them. First, in response to his attorney's questioning as to why the 10 mortgage checks for $1,660 made out to Seals were deposited back into his own account, Ace was allowed to testify that he and Seals had an arrangement whereby Seals would endorse the check. He would deduct $500 for Seals' monthly rent payment for himself and then give Seals the $1,150 balance in cash. We note that this arrangement was not documented by any records or receipts, and that due to Seals' demise, there are no witnesses to refute Ace's explanation as to why the mortgage checks never reached her account. A second violation of the dead man's statute occurred when, during questioning concerning the $15,300 obtained from Seals' checking account and the redeposited mortgage payments, Ace was permitted to testify that Seals basically lent me the money to help him rehabilitate the building in order to qualify for additional financing. These and other explanations offered by Ace at trial, explaining his apparent misuse of Seals' funds to the extent they involve personal transactions, communications with the deceased, should have been excluded pursuant to the dead man's statute. Respondents' testimony admitted withdrawals from decedent's account, but contending they converted money to cash and delivered it to decedent while he was in his sickbed should have been excluded under the dead man's statute. The erroneous admission of this evidence cannot be considered harmless, since there was no other competent evidence at trial establishing either that Ace's mortgage checks were cashed as a courtesy to Seals and the balance remitted to her, or that the checks drawn on Seals' account were loans agreed to by Seals. In fact, without Ace's dubious explanations, there was nothing in the record to refute the damaging evidence of Ace's financial misconduct offered on plaintiff's direct case. Nor did plaintiffs waive the protections of the dead man's statute by offering plaintiff Elba direct testimony concerning her observations of Seals' conduct and demeanor, as he assiduously avoided any testimony pertaining to any transactions or communications with Seals. Although he was questioned on cross-examination concerning communications with the decedent The rule is that testimony elicited on cross-examination of a personal representative of the deceased by the adverse party does not waive the protections of the statute, nor, as Ace suggests, is the dead man's statute being improperly used as a sword instead of a shield. The testimony and documentary evidence offered on plaintiff's direct case by disinterested witnesses regarding various transactions involving Seals and Ace's accounts did not open the door to his explanations that he borrowed the funds or returned most of it to Seals in cash. In any event, even though the statute bars his testimony concerning transactions with Seals, Ace could easily have protected himself by documenting any loans from Seals by not depositing the mortgage payments back into his account.